Question 26. When a question asks for what one author would be most likely to do, that's an inference question. In comparative passages, inference questions often ask you for something that the two authors would disagree about or that they would agree about, or something that we could infer using both of the passages, or, as rarely like this question, we'll be asked what one author would think about something from the other author's passage. Here they're asking what the author of passage A would say that the purpose of the Indian Non-Intercourse Act was. And if you glance at the answer choices, you can see that they're all descriptions of various principles from passage A. So that's what we're going to need to determine before we move on to the answer choices in a systematic way. So go back to your notes in the passage and do a little bit of research. Remember, the INA, its purpose was to protect transfers between the Native Americans and others, transfers of their property, and to protect them from fraud. The principle of transfer was the second principle that was mentioned in passage A, and fraud was an example of something that violated that principle, something that caused the need for the principle of rectification. So that's what we'll be looking for in the answer choices. Something that says that the author of passage A would think that the INA's purpose was to guard the principle of transfer against fraud. So answer choice A, legitimization of actual property holdings during the 18th century. Now, on the one hand, it'd be pretty hard for the INA to do that, since the INA, the passage tells us, started in 1790. There wasn't much 18th century left. But it also wasn't legitimizing property. It was trying to protect it, to make sure that the already existing property with the Native Americans was transferred in the right way. This would seem more like the acquisition end of things. So answer choice B, clarification of existing laws regarding transfer of property. The word transfer is good, but this wasn't a clarification of existing laws. The INA was a new law. So answer choice C, assurance of conformity to the principle. It was very good up until the last word. It should say assurance of conformity to the principle of justice in transfer. Remember, acquisition is when you're going from unowned property to owned property, not when somebody already owns it. So answer choice C doesn't work. Answer choice D, prevention of violations of the principle of justice in transfer. Well, that's what we predicted. It's like answer choice C, but with the right rule. So D works. E is wrong because it's the third principle, the principle of rectification. The INA was all about transfer. So D is our answer.